Hello friends, Lee here from TableTop Bong. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I thought it'd be fun to kick back, vape a few bowls, and talk about energy. Specifically, when I'm speaking of energy, I'm talking today about equal and opposite energy. I'm going to talk to you about what that is and how you can use that to actually really enhance your life experience. When you understand simple things about the flow of energy, like equal and opposite energy, when you understand them a little bit more deeply, say, than you may now, it can really help you get a handle on some things that might be a bit of a struggle in life. For instance, you may be running into the same situation with somebody over and over and over that keeps bringing you, a particular approach or a particular way of being that is really difficult for you to handle. If you understand how to employ equal and opposite energy, perhaps you can change that situation. So we're going to vape a couple of bowls and we're going to dig into what any of this even means. Right now, bear with me today. I'm going to just grab my VB 1.5. This is an unofficial VB 1.5, but guess what, guys? I heard that the VB 1.5, the official VB 1.5 from Vaporizer is now available on their website. I'm not an affiliate of Vaporizer. I'm just super excited for them. They took the concept that Bing from Bing's Buttery had, which I've employed here with this unofficial VB 1.5. And what that idea was to take the heat element and open this whole thing up and fill this entire heat element with 3mm beads. So Bing did his and made a video about it. Then I did mine and I made a video about it. And Vaporizer saw what Bing did and checked it out. They experimented on their own with the idea and reintroduced their product with the enhancements that they feel is the very, very best for their VB1, making their official VB 1.5. So congratulations to Vaporizer, by the way. Sorry, I got off topic there for a minute. Well, speaking of VB 1.5, might as well load one up, right? And I'm going to rip today. I'm going to show you guys this too. This is something I just put together today. That's a natural maple with a black post option. It's super slick. I really like it. I don't know why I never thought to put that together before. Well, I guess you know what? You look at the same thing over and over and you have all these different ideas constantly, right? That's what it seems like anyway. All right, so let's get this hooked up here so I can have a nice rip, and then we're going to get a little deeper, go on a deep dive into equal and opposite energy. Cheers. VB 1.5. Such flavorful one and done rips. Love it. I'll be very interested to try the official model and see how it stacks up against the mod that I've done with mine. That'll be super interesting. I'm sure I'm going to make a video and show you guys that. Okay, so let's get into equal and opposite energy, what that means. Okay, the universe loves to seek balance for all things. What that means is if someone is aggressive with you, for instance, what's your natural instinct? You can do one of two things, but the end result is always going to be the same. You can either calm and soothe the situation, which is the universe seeking balance, or you can try and overpower the other person so that they will become submissive, therefore causing balance. That, again, is the universe seeking balance. So if you see The universe is always seeking this form of balance within things, right? It can be slanted one way or another, but it has to be a balance. It can't just be all one side. You can't live a life filled with pure joy and no struggles, no challenges. How would you know that you're living a life of joy then, right? You wouldn't. You'd have no idea. You would just be living a life, right? It would be monotonous. So, the universe seeks to balance things so that you continue to grow, learn, evolve as a human, as a soul, as a spirit. So this is one of those things that exist. So if you look at that and you harness that energy instead of working against it, you can get much faster results with many, many things in your life. And what does that mean? So now somebody comes, that person we were talking about earlier, that might be a little bit aggressive, for instance, or they bring a tactic or, some sort of approach to you that you have a struggle with. Well, if they're coming forward, just let them come forward and you just move backwards. It's equal opposite energy. And then, because what happens is they come forward, and if you freeze, they keep coming forward, and there's this bouncing energy. You need to move with it. Or you need to strengthen up and steel yourself up and move that other force backwards by using more energy than is coming at you to back it up to create balance that way. But it's still always going to be equal opposite energy if you look at it. Let's rip another bowl as we go into this further. Equal and opposite energy. If you really, let's say, you're struggling to have someone like you. Let's say you really like somebody and you feel misunderstood by them. Employ equal and opposite energy. If they're excited about something, just back up and make space for them to be even more excited about it, and for there to be somewhere for that to land. Don't overpower them with your excitement. Allow theirs to take up the space. Cheers. But here's the one that really, really changed things for me when I started to absolutely understand equal and opposite energy. Sometimes in life, people can be an asshole. Let's just be honest. There are some people in the world that just act like an asshole sometimes. So when I started to think about equal and opposite energy, it occurred to me, in any situation, there's only room for one asshole. Whoever gets that role first gets to have it. So if you go into, this is what I do for myself. Everybody looks at this a little bit differently, but if I would go into a situation and I would be a little bit escalated about it and the other person was already escalated, I would realize, oh, you got the asshole role before me. So I'm gonna diffuse the situation instead of getting more aggressive. If that person now, on the other hand, when I'm feeling escalated like that, if that person was super apologetic, that would make space for me to be an asshole, wouldn't it? So there's the rule of one asshole in every situation, but there can't be two. There can be none, that's for sure, but there can't be more than one. So when I really got that figured out and I embodied that, it really helped me move through the world. It helped me understand how it is I need to behave with people at certain times. Not because of right and wrong. Forget that. I've lived long enough to know right and wrong really doesn't matter. What I do know is the energy of a situation. That's what matters. Honestly. You want to get the best out of something, you have to get the best out of the energy, right? If you have the energy flowing properly in in any situation, then you automatically are going to get the best outcome. So if you employ equal and opposite energy, the asshole moves forward and you make space, let them be the asshole for a minute. Just let them, and then make space for them to put that down without you having to become the asshole yourself. Cheers. And what that means, sometimes when somebody comes forward being an asshole, and you let them rant, you let them go off and you don't escalate, and then you say to them after they're done, I hear you, I understand your frustration, my personal boundaries have just been crossed by you and I don't accept that, so I'm going to ask you to not cross that boundary again. I understand exactly what you're saying, I'm not upset with you. I'm just making space right now for this this conversation to carry on, but you need to understand you can't do it like that with me, but I'm here to hear you. Most people at that point will accept that. They might come forward again, and you might have to back up another step for the balance to be able to be created. But later, most of the time, in most situations, when that happens, that other person ends up, when they're alone in their own personal private thoughts, they realize what they did and they come back and they create a different balance later. So balance isn't always instantaneous. But if you look at how to use that equal and opposite energy, use it with your partner, with your family members. It really does make a big difference, because honestly, that's what you're going to try and get to anyway, instinctively, whether you realize it or not. You're going to try and get to resolution, you're going to try and get to the end, and you're going to try and get to balance. So if you look at it starting with the intention of reaching balance and knowing that the universe is supporting that action, taking that different approach, it can really yield you some very, very different results in the world, right? We often think if we push something backwards at all costs, we're going to win. Well, often the thing on the other side is thinking or doing the exact same thing and no one wins. When one person decides to seek balance, realizing that it's already on the way. It's just a matter of how much resistance is there to the balance when it occurs. That's the question. And if you're not resisting it, you're allowing that equal and opposite energy, you're doing yourself a massive, massive favor and a tremendous service to the other person in the situation. So I just thought it'd be fun to have a few bowls and talk about equal and opposite energy and how to use that, how to make that work for you. Because it's always working, right? Just like you're always creating in your experience, whether you like it or you don't like it. That's just the fact. Everything you think, everything you feel, you are creating. That is an absolute universal rule. I understand that, and I live my life by that. And I also understand the universal rule of equal and opposite energy, and I utilize it as much as possible, because the more often I can seek balance in any situation that I'm faced with, the sooner I begin to look for the resolution to balance. Which way do I need to move my energy? Do I need to go forward? Do I need to go backwards? Which way is it going to get? Which way gets me the balance? And then I think about it for the other person in the situation, or whatever other thing is in the situation, that it will also be served by restoring balance, by helping balance. And all of a sudden, it's a whole different energy in every situation. You get much more into the flow of life. And when you seek balance, guess what? You find it. It's a beautiful thing. It really helps you achieve a lot of things in your life very indirectly, because your overall energy becomes much easier and much more comfortable. All right, guys, I think I'm going to cut it off right there and not dive any deeper into that topic. Thanks for staying with me on that deep dive into equal and opposite energy. Please If you enjoyed this video or got anything out of it at all, hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, take care.